It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be pod-smacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
And here is episode number 156 of the Rob Carson Show podcast. It is a Friday I'm recording this on. We have a special edition of the show today. Today it's all about comedy. Today it's all about satire. I thought we'd take a break from the noise in the news cycle, and there's a lot of things going on. And I know if you were like me, and I live this stuff, okay? I have to share this. Sometimes it gets to be a little bit much. Today I had a wonderful meeting with a friend, and this guy is amazing. He is, actually, he turned around a little church. Literally this little church in a very bad neighborhood in Kansas City. Was having about 10 to 12 people in the pews on a Sunday morning. He was asked to stand in one weekend for the pastor. And he did, and then he was asked a few more weeks to do it because the pastor was sick. And this man, in 4 or 5 weeks, was loading the pews with 70 or 80 people. It's pretty amazing. Now, when the pastor came back, he told the pastor that he did not have his theology degree. And very surprised by the pastor's reaction. Really? Because everybody here thinks you know what you're talking about. Would you consider going to seminary school? He said, man, I am so busy. I've got an advertising agency. I've got kids and the whole deal, but he went ahead and did it. Well, through his connections, through his hard work, that little rundown church got a $100,000 makeover. And now he is their full-time pastor, and he has a degree. It's pretty amazing. And he's not doing it full-time. It was an inspirational story, and he did this within the time frame of about a year. Unreal. We're going to get to the comedy in a second here. I do want to mention Dr. Alex Nelson in Kansas City, fountainoflifecairo.com. If you've got aches and pains, and I do, some mornings you never know where the pain is going to be, but it's there, whether it be hip pain, maybe knee pain, maybe low back pain. Maybe you need decompression for herniated low back discs. I need an adjustment in my neck right now. I haven't been able to get a fit to see him, but I'll tell you, it's the only thing that works for me. 8335 North Congress Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri. Fountainoflifecairo.com. 816-741-4711. 816-741-4711. Dr. Alex Nelson. Fountainoflifecairo.com. GrassMonstersKC.com is another sponsor. They sell American-made, badass, zero-turning radius mowers, including the Hustler line of mowers made in Kansas. I can't get enough of this Raptor flip-up from Hustler. Basically, the whole blade deck, all three blades, folds up so you can put it in a smaller space. And this is a big mower. 25 horsepower. Wow. Up to a 54-inch deck. You can mow an acre very quickly. This mower is going to last you forever. 4-year, 400-hour, bumper-to-bumper, blade-to-blade warranty. Let's also not forget about Dixie Choppers. Those are made in Indiana. The Z2 is a residential mower with up to a 54-inch deck. These things are built like you wouldn't believe. Just go to GrassMonstersKC.com. They're at 5520 Raytown Road, Raytown, Missouri. Again, GrassMonstersKC.com. Let's start with some comedy, shall we? I've been writing for a lot of people around the country for many years. One of the most notable is Rush Limbaugh. I started writing for Rush around 1990. I was right out of college, and I was told about this guy who had a brand new show in New York. And I decided that, because I was writing comedy for other comedy networks, because I made better money writing comedy than I did in radio, thank you. So I started writing for Rush. I'm going to share a few of the bits that I've done for Rush over the years. I'll tell you what, I'll start with the very first one I did for him. This ended up getting into his book. Now, back in around 1990, 91, there was a bank on Capitol Hill called Capitol. Well, it was just a bank in the Capitol that the congressmen could use. But they didn't have to have any money. They could write checks on accounts that contained no money, and they were covered. And sometimes you didn't even need to bother paying them back. It was a huge scandal, so I decided to write this. This, I believe, was my first parody for Rush. It ended up getting into his first book, by the way.
And now, another Capitol Hill Bank moment.
I'm working behind the counter at the bank when in comes another freshman congressman. He puts $500 into his new checking account. Boy, you should have seen the look on his face when I told him that $500 in a Capitol Hill checking account is unheard of. Congressmen never keep that kind of money in the bank.
So this kindly teller tells me my $500 is worth $60,000 to $100,000 in check writing privileges. Until that moment, I never realized how much I was going to love living in Washington.
Capitol Hill Bank for personal service.
I like to really get involved with my customers. Why, once a congressman called me from this big drinking party he was throwing. Said he needed some more checks. So I went to his party with a box of checks. Why, he even paid for that party with one of those checks. I felt like I really made a difference.
I don't remember much about that party, but I do remember my Capitol Hill Bank associate. He really saved me. You know, people like Ted Kennedy can rack up quite a bar tab. Capitol Hill Bank made me look like I had money and influence. You don't get that kind of treatment from a bank very often. Capitol Hill Bank.
Capitol Hill Bank for worry-free checking.
If I get named, that kid's going down with me.
Capitol Hill Bank, member FLEECE, a special privilege lender.
Yeah, there it is. That's the first one I did. Now, that announce voice is Johnny Donovan. He just retired, actually, from WABC. And he did all the announcing and the production for mine. I did all the writing, and I did some of the voice work, like the guy who worked at the bank. Another bit that I did was right as Bill Clinton was becoming the president of the United States. He was talking about investing in America, which meant tax increases. And there was a movie, Interview with a Vampire, that came out that year. Now, Rush calls Al Gore for a reason. It's because of this bit. It's called Count Texula. Hope you enjoy it.
In a castle deep in the heart of Pennsylvania, there lives an evil as old as the Democratic Party itself. Paramount Pictures presents Bill Clinton in Taxula.
Count Taxula, arise! It is I, your faithful servant, Al Gore. Your agenda requires that you feed.
Thank you, Al Gore. Have you raised the cafe standards?
Yes, master.
Shredded my draft records?
Yes, master.
Good. Then I am off.
Happy hunting, master.
He lays in waiting until his hunger calls. Then he pounces on anyone who makes over $36,000 per year, sucking the lifeblood out of every American taxpayer.
Sir, we found his paycheck lying here, drained of every penny.
How could anyone do this in good conscience? It's inhuman.
All the while, using his charisma and slick character to hypnotize his victims.
Just look into your television. Invest in America. Invest in America. Invest.
Bill Clinton is Taxula. He sleeps in the daytime and has been known to prowl at night.
Oh, Willie, do that again.
Bill Clinton is Taxula.
Come on, Al Gore. Let's go to Congress. I'm hungry.
All right, so there you go. That's me as Count Taxula, by the way. I also was we found his paycheck lying here, drained of every penny. So anyway, that was done around 1991 or so when I was working for Rush. One of the cool things about oral production is that it paints a picture in your mind, and you don't have to build an expensive TV set or anything like that. You just have audio, you have voices, you have sound effects. Johnny Donovan just happens to be a master of production. Very, very cool. I'll do one more Clinton bit because it's kind of funny. This one ended up being on the cover of Mad Magazine. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, obviously coming from Arkansas. The Clintons sounds kind of like the Flintstones, so I did the Clint Stones.
Coming this summer, America's favorite family from a state locked in the Stone Age.
Clintons, meet the Clintons. They're the modern White House family. From the town of Little Rock, they are mixing up history.
Whitewater Pictures presents The Clint Stones.
Honey, this Razorback-osaurus sure makes paper shredding easy.
Shut up and hand me another stack, Willie.
Life has been unbearable since the investigation. Oh, my aching back.
Yes, it's the Clint Stones from the town of Little Rock. They've torn a page right out of history and run it through the shredder.
Mr. President, I don't think it's such a good idea to bring those cheerleaders into the Oval Office, you know.
Listen, Al, need I remind you who the grand poobah around here is?
You don't need to. She reminds us both every day.
Shut up and hand me another stack, Willie.
The Clint Stones. Whether they're shedding documents or trading in cattle stores futures, they're always a laugh a minute.
Hey, Mr. President, Hillary's leaving town for a healthcare seminar in New Rock City this weekend. Bubba dubba doo!
The Clint Stones, coming soon to a theater near you.
They are gonna catch it to ya. They're gonna chew ya. They want the keys all the time.
Hillary!
Okay, now, the voice of Hillary and Al Gore, or not Hillary, I should say Bill Clinton and Al Gore, done by Paul Shanklin. Paul Shanklin does the lion's share of the parodies that you hear on the Rush Limbaugh program today. And that was me. Oh, my aching back. Okay, here's another one. Now, a few years ago, 2008 is when I did this. Barack Obama was running for president. And his campaign was based on a lot of vagaries, hope and change, which is, to me, it's meaningless. It's not policy. Hope and change is not policy. Policy is cutting taxes. Policy is increasing the military budget. Policy is whatever. Hope and change is not. So I wrote a parody about this guy, Barack Obama, and I want you to listen to the words of this, because in this entire parody, nothing is said.
I'm voting for Barack Obama because I believe in the future.
A vote for Obama is a vote for the future.
Because the future is ahead of us, and the past has come before us, and the future is yet to come.
A vote for Obama is a vote for hope.
I believe Obama believes in hope and hopes for a future filled with hope.
If you believe that change can't happen if you don't do something, vote Obama.
I believe that we, U.S. Americans, want change, and Obama will change things and not leave us unchanged.
If you believe the future is not now and not in the past, vote Obama.
The past is like history, and that is so like yesterday.
If you hope there's a candidate that believes in hope, vote for Obama. If you believe that Obama believes in everything you believe in, vote for hope. Vote for change. Vote Obama.
And yeah, nothing was said in that entire commercial. Now, one of the big, issues with the Obama administration was illegal immigration. And, conservatives like me were very troubled by it. People on the left, not so much. Democrats like those illegal votes. I did a parody about a restaurant called Los Gallows.
If you're looking for the real south of the border experience, then sneak into Los Gallows and place your order today.
Welcome to Los Gallows. Can I take your order?
Yes, I want free health care, a job, I want to protest in the streets, and I want the entire Southwest U.S. returned to its rightful owner, Mexico.
Are you here legally?
That's none of your business.
And right now in Los Gallows, you can try our new chicken soft border taco. With a tortilla so thin, you can see right through it. No ID, no problem. In the country illegally, no problem. Just cut in line in front of everyone else.
Jace, I'd like a La Raza tostada. Hey, I've been waiting in line here for 10 years. Hey, tell that to Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi.
Bring the whole gang to Los Gallows and order our MS-13 special. Order a dozen tacos and we'll throw in one free.
Viva Los Gallows!
Wear your American flag t-shirt inside out and get a free entry.
That's entree?
Oh, yeah. Now open 24 hours in all border states. Arizona is subject to change.
Okay, so that was a parody that I did a couple years ago. I think I got the most complaints I've ever gotten about a parody. And I've had plenty of them. I have had plenty of them. But my role is not to offend. My role as a comedy writer has always been to make people laugh and disarm people with humor. I think it's important to disarm people with humor. I always like to say that, I thought Jon Stewart was very funny. I think Stephen Colbert is funny, although he's a little vitriolic lately. But why should the left side of the political equation have all the funny? So I said, okay, let's make things funny. Let's disarm the competition and those who would disagree with humor. But I have also gone after conservative targets, like this Christmas song I did about Newt Gingrich in about 1994.
You're a foul one, Mr. Gingrich. You say things you shouldn't say. You have all the tact of Rush Limbaugh at an all-you-can-eat buffet, Mr. Gingrich. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, brute, snoot, newt.
Okay, there you go. I did that, when Newt was a Speaker of the House, actually. So it's been a number of years ago. You millennials won't remember that. Here's a parody that I did about, I was inspired because every night when you watch the nightly news, and one of the lines that I've always used is, I hope I'm never as sick as the people who watch the nightly news, because every other advertisement is about erectile dysfunction or whatever. Every commercial is about some sort of an ailment. And every day we hear studies of how many people have this, what percentage of Americans have this. 26% of Americans are depressed. 25, whatever. So by the time you add up all of the disorders, we've all got at least a dozen, right? Well, what happens if you don't? Well, there's a medicine for that too. Everybody I know is being treated for something.
Do you feel left out?
My best buddy is bipolar. My kids have ADHD. My wife has adult anxiety.
Do you feel isolated?
I talked to psychologists, psychotherapists, even a psychic, but nobody could figure it out.
Looking for answers?
They all told me there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I was crushed.
You might have disorder anxiety disorder, syndrome caused by the realization that you are completely normal. Ask your doctor about Placebex or Nothing and All, so you can have a syndrome to call your own. Placebex and Nothing and All, new from SmithKline Blarney.
Again, the magical voice work of Mr. Johnny Donovan with me playing Dad. Did you get that? Dad is disorder anxiety disorder. So I thought you'd appreciate that. All right, we've got a bunch of other things that I want to get to. I want to remind you of our sponsors. Dr. Alex Nelson, fountainoflifecairo.com in Kansas City. Check out his website, and if you need an adjustment, give him a call, 816-741-4711, 816-741-4711. Also, don't forget GrassMonstersKC.com. GrassMonstersKC.com. 5520 Raytown Road for zero turning radius American-made mowers. They're awesome. So there is an arrogance associated with hybrid vehicles. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the times you'll get a hybrid vehicle like a Prius in front of you, and it will drive really slow in the passing lane? Now, I am told that they're taking advantage of little tricks with regard to acceleration that will make your gas mileage even higher. I think they're just kind of being arrogant, and they want you to slow down. And they also have a lot of bumper stickers on the back, like farms, not arms, coexist, spelled with religious symbols. But what about those who don't have a hybrid? Maybe you just want your truck to, or your car to seem like a hybrid.
So what kind of car do you have?
Well, I have a hybrid.
Wow, a hybrid. I'd love to have a hybrid.
What? You don't have a hybrid?
You can't afford a hybrid, yet you want the same feeling of moral superiority that hybrid owners have.
Yeah.
Well, now you can with new Eccentric hybrid decals.
Awesome!
Eccentric decals are made to look like a real hybrid car decal and can be placed on any car, truck, or van. Simply apply your hybrid decal, and you'll be looking down your nose at non-hybrid drivers in no time.
Nice SUV there, buddy. What kind of mileage you get with that? Probably not as good as my hybrid.
And if you order today, we'll also include your choice of annoying, self-important liberal bumper stickers, including arms are for hugging, visualize world peace, meat is murder, or the word coexist, spelled in religious symbols.
So, how do you like my hybrid?
I didn't know 73 VWs came in a hybrid model.
It's aftermarket.
Eccentric hybrid decals turn any car into a vehicle that makes you feel good about yourself and so superior.
So superior. Absolutely. See, everybody can be a target when it comes to my comedy writing. For instance, a lot of the times around elections, there are these institutional ads that come out. Hollywood is well known for this. They have this rapid fire segue celebrity montage, and they're each saying a given phrase or whatever, and it's all meant to fit together. Well, I decided to make fun of those ads. This is an institutional ad.
Institutional ad.
Featuring lots of different people.
From different walks of life.
Or maybe different ethnic groups.
It could be an advocacy.
Advocacy ad for a political cause.
Or a company trying to rebuild its tarnished image.
Like BP.
Or GM.
Or maybe a politician trying to rebuild his reputation after an affair.
Or lying about his military service.
It's supposed to fool you into believing no matter what the cause.
That we're all in this together.
Together.
But really, it's probably just a load of BS.
Paid for by a front group
Or by union dues taken from its members.
Regardless of their political affiliation.
or a non-profit with an acronym that spells something like
Care or hope.
That last line from the kid, probably just a load of BS. That's my son. His name is Will. I think he was around 11 when that came out. All right. Here's another one that I think you'll like. Club Gitmo is what Rush is called Gitmo in Cuba. I decided to make it into, instead of a prison on an island, into a resort.
Are you tired of killing yourself at work? You'll be blown away by a vacation at Club Gitmo. There's nothing extreme about the calm, cool waters, laughing up on the sandy shore near your very own 6x8 villas. Point your prayer rugs towards fun as you enjoy the many activities such as volleyball, basketball, and occasional waist tossing. You'll completely forget about your hostile, combative boss overseas as you while away your time in luxurious comfort. Club Gitmo. Infinite stays available. See your travel imam for details.
Okay, there you go. So that's Club Gitmo, inspired by Mr. Limbaugh. I'm going to go back a couple years, just because I think the 2016 election was all about people being sick and tired of being told how to live their lives by people who go to Washington and spend their entire lives doing it. That was one of the things that I said about this election. But it's been going on a very long time. There are a lot of dinosaurs in Congress. I wrote this when the first Jurassic Park movie came out about Congress and about the dinosaurs in Congress. The same goes for today. The names have changed.
This summer, you can take your family to the only place on Earth where living fossils roam in their natural environment. Congressional House Pictures presents Steven Spielberg's Geriatric Park.
Stand back there, Billy. It's 2 o'clock. Senator Metzenbaum could wake up at any minute.
Scientists have cloned the cells of New Deal Democrats, and despite their harmless appearance, they can be extremely dangerous.
Oh my God, Tom Foley is coming toward me. What do I do? Don't worry. They never attacks you when you stand totally still. Stare into his eyes and hand him your checkbook.
Geriatric Park, where disaster awaits at every corner.
Hey, Jerry, where the heck is your wife? She fell into the entitlement tar pits.
Oh, jeez, that's it. Well, at least the government will cover those funeral expenses, huh?
Oh, good point.
Geriatric Park, home of the frightening Barney Francus Liberalis, the Carol Mosley Brontosaurus, and who could forget their leader, the granddaddy of them all.
What the heck is that? Oh my God, it's the Arkansaurus Tax and Spendus.
Geriatric Park, because no matter how many years pass, some things always stay the same. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Of course, that's the standard line. Coming soon to a theater near you. You could just replace the names with Dianne Feinstein. There are a number of people who are in Congress. John McCain. You'll see in 20 plus years, things have not changed. They have not. Okay, let's move off of politics and into just general silliness. There's a lot of reality TV shows on television, and I watch quite a few of them, actually. Love watching HGTV and the History Channel. There's one on TV which is about a tattoo parlor. Okay, so an entire show wrapped around people going in and making decisions they will regret the rest of their lives. I decided to make fun of it with a temporary tattoo parlor.
From the producers of LA Ink, a new breed of tattoo parlor is turning the ink world upside down. Temporary Insanity.
We're a temporary tattoo parlor. Our customers are usually kids, I don't know, somewhere, I guess, between like 4 to 12. Excuse me a second. Hello, temporary insanity. SpongeBob. You know how I roll. See you later.
Their tools, a sponge, a squirt bottle, and a whole lot of heart.
So what do you want?
Hannah Montana.
Okay, no problem.
In the middle of my forehead.
You're nuts, man.
The only thing permanent about this place is the place you'll find it on your TV.
All right, hold still. Let me peel the backing off here.
Another perfect Dora the Explorer. Dang, you're good.
Temporary insanity. Tonight, after Orange County Toddlers.
All right. So, like, I was the biker there, dude. Yeah.
Here's another parody of a reality TV show. You ever see Ice Road Truckers? It's about these guys who drive across the Bering Strait near Alaska on the sea that's frozen over. Sometimes not so frozen over. Very dangerous job. Here's what I did with it.
There are tough jobs, and then there are really tough jobs. From the producers of Deadliest Catch and Ice Road Truckers comes a new series that documents a profession you have to be really brave or totally insane to do. It's Ice Cream Truckers.
Trick is trolling through the neighborhoods real slow like right after school. That's when I strike.
The frozen ice of the Bering Strait doesn't hold a candle to a load of frozen treats in a cul-de-sac neighborhood.
I got 20, maybe 30 kids out here. I'm out of bomb pops and I need reinforcements.
10-4, good buddy. I'm on my way.
Dude, you gotta hurry. They're gonna turn the truck over.
An iron will, the ability to think on your feet, and a box truck with decals featuring an array of brain-freezing treats is all it takes.
SpongeBob with bubblegum eyes, snow cone, and an ice cream sandwich, $3.85 out of $5. $1.15 is your change. Damn, I'm good.
Ice Cream Truckers. It's no novelty. It's a way of life. Check your local listings.
All right, so there you go. That's my my take on reality television. Here's one, and this is apropos of nothing. There was a movie that came out a couple years ago. It got horrible reviews. It was called The Last Airbender. It was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And I decided to do a take on it as someone who, kind of grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. And I did The Last Airbender, making fun of bands like Rat and Poison and Motley Crue. Here it is.
In 1988, he ruled the stage.
Are you ready to rock?
In 2010, many of his comrades have fallen, moved on, or gotten reality shows. But he stands alone. One man. He is the Last Airbender.
I guess it was around 89. My band opened for Rat, who was opening for Warrant, who was opening for Cinderella, who opened for Motley Crue.
Still wearing his eyeshadow, his thinning hair teased relentlessly, he carries the torch for those who have gone before him.
I want to thank the Rosenbergs for having me to their son Ben's bar mitzvah. Now let's get this party started!
From director M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, The Last Airbender.
Every rose has its thorn. You suck! Every night has its dawn. Hey, can I get some more volume up here?
The Last Airbender.
Good night, Poughkeepsie!
Now playing in tiny venues everywhere.
And, of course, that was me as the Last Airbender. Hey, can I get more volume up here? One more. We have time for one more. Let's make fun of cat owners, shall we?
Seared sea bass in a light cream sauce.
Fancy Cat presents new gourmet creations.
Ahi tuna with wilted greens.
Gourmet cat food for the most discriminating tastes.
Roasted beef tenderloin in a veal demi-glace.
Oh, sure, you don't eat like this, because quite simply to feed your family like this, you'd go broke.
Lamb shanks with port wine reduction.
But Fancy Cat knows you love your cat. And even though this is an animal that would be perfectly fine killing a bird or rodent and eating it, you show your love by serving them precocious entrees with ridiculous names.
Hey, honey, what's for dinner?
I think we'll try Asian pork and rice pilaf.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Not for you, idiot. For Snooky, who's a good little kitty.
Fancy Cat Gourmet Creations cat food, because sometimes cat owners are a little weird.
There you go. So that's my gift to you this weekend. Please share on social media. I am on Facebook at Rob Carson Show and on Twitter at Rob Carson. You can also write me, carsonontheradio@gmail.com. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.